And I want to thank you all for joining BrainSell's webinar on the best productivity apps for your CRM in 2017. And joining me today is Kevin Cook. Kevin, are you there?
I am here. Hi, everybody. Nice to talk to you today, Sonia.
You too. And Kevin, it's lovely to have you here. Kevin is an executive VP here at BrainSell, and we both really love helping clients grow and transform their businesses with technology. So just a tiny bit about who we are. BrainSell is an unbiased resource for all things business technology. We help customers understand what they may need to improve or how they can improve it, and then what technologies would go in place to fit that need. Sometimes it's not even technology, it's just process flow. And we also do that too. We also do business consulting, process management, Lean, Six Sigma, you name it, we do it. But today we're talking about how to increase adoption with applications, that can add into your CRM and create a much better user experience for your users. So just doing a couple things right out front. Why do people not usually like their CRM? Was just at a party speaking with some friends who were telling me that they log into Salesforce once a week at most to update their opportunities, and I was just absolutely floored. And we got into a whole conversation of why, and that's one of the reasons for having this webinar. I just couldn't believe it. Why do you hate it so much? Well, they pretty much told the story. It's too much manual work. They just see it as an update tool, purely to update their opportunities and show management, not even their boss, but their boss's boss, right, what they're doing. And redundancy, because they also had to update several things for vendors, several things for other teams. Disconnected processes, as we like to say, led to redundancy in their work, and they were just getting really aggravated. Too complex. For the newbies in the company, they weren't getting the right training and they thought it was too complex, or maybe the system is too complex because it's not tailored for their needs. And it was no value to them. It was no value to them because they were never given a stake in the implementation process, or even just checking in and saying, hey, what do you like about Salesforce? Or what don't you like about Salesforce? Or Sugar, or Microsoft, or Zoho, or NetSuite, or anything, right? These systems, you hear all the same complaints. It doesn't really matter the type of system, you hear the same complaints. They were just never involved in the implementation or configuration process, and so it left their needs totally unaddressed, which is not great. And
I was at a CIO forum last night, or yesterday afternoon last night, and this is one of the topics that came up. Everybody said that the problem is that no process had been built in, or a sane process hadn't been built into their CRM, irrespective of the CRM. And more often than not, they would have like millions of fields. That's an exaggeration. Sometimes hundreds of fields, and nobody knew why they were there. And they've been feeling, we've had these fields in there for years, and we don't know why. So it slows down the system. It muddies up the system. Salespeople are looking at fields that are meaningless to them.
And it seems like it, and when you've got that horrible look and feel that no one uses those fields, or no one uses half the system, it does seem like an afterthought, and it does seem like, why should I care about this? They don't even care about cleaning up the fields, right? It's kind of like having a messy house. Like, what do you care if I clean my room? The whole house is messy. And then the no leadership buy-in. The no leadership buy-in. My friend at the party said, literally, my boss says, just log in once a week just to make my boss happy. And I'm like floored. Like, oh my God, I can't believe they're saying that to you. And so why are we saying this? Well, we're saying this because these systems can be really cool, and they can be awesome. Like Kevin and I will, and our salespeople here will be running sometimes 50 live opportunities. How the heck are you supposed to keep that straight? And even if you have a spreadsheet, like having to update that and have it be static, it's just a complete mess. So we need these systems. We should like using them. Why don't we, for these reasons? And how can we make that better? So maybe one of the reasons, Kevin, we really like using our CRM here is because we have really cool productivity stuff, right? We're like the kids in the candy store. We sell all these products. We represent all these products. We understand them. and we use them internally. And so I think CRM is just about the coolest thing ever because we have all of the apps that we're going to talk about today.
Oh yeah, couldn't do the business,
right?
Couldn't run our business without CRM. It's the core. It's the focal point of all the stuff we do.
And it makes these add-ins that we're going to show you today make it really cool, and make it really productive. And we'll go into like quick little stories on why we adopted these add-ins. We're just focusing on 3 today because there are so many out there, and we just really wanted to narrow it down. And we stepped back before this webinar, and obviously, and we said, what are the biggest game changers for us this year? And these are the 3. So the biggest game changers, and I'm also going to preface this by saying on the final screen that we've got here, and we will demo some of these live today. Really briefly though, we're going to try to keep this webinar really quick because also salespeople don't usually like sitting on webinars for an hour and a half, so we're going to make this quick. But these are the 3 biggest game changers for us this year, and we'll look at them. And then in the following 3 webinars that we're going to have, we're going to do deep dives into each of these. So in the follow-up with this recording, you're going to get links to sign up for these. So if there's one that you like in particular or one that doesn't apply to you, sign up or don't sign up. And we'll go into great detail in each of these apps. But right now, we're really just overviewing, this is why we love them, and we'll give you a quick screen share of these applications and use. So the 3, and we'll go into each of these again individually. PandaDoc, adorable name. What does it do? It's a proposal building tool first, and it does so much, so I just need to demo it for you guys. It also does electronic signature and a bunch of stuff. TenFold, phone integration. How much do you hate having to log every call in the CRM? It takes so many minutes to do that, so many clicks, and TenFold automates everything. And ClicData is, Kevin's going to dive into that because he's our amazing data person, and I am not. Kevin, ClicData mashes up data sets, not just from the CRM, but also from outside sources, right? So you can make crazy awesome dashboards and reports from lots of data sets. And these are reports that we can't just do in one system. So Sugar, which is what we use for our CRM, we can't get some of the reports that we can get with ClicData, and they're all super affordable add-ins. So I'm going to start with Panda, and I will also preface this by saying these applications all work in Sugar, Salesforce, Microsoft CRM, a lot of them in NetSuite, some of them in Zoho. So if you're on this webinar and you use a CRM, chances are you can use these. You can also use a lot of them standalone. Well, 2 of them totally standalone. I want to just take a quick poll because we love to see what you're using. So I have distributed the poll. So let us know what you're using because we're always just super curious. And
I can't vote? Not allowed to vote? Oh.
Right. We know what you're using, Kevin. We're using Sugar here.
Know what I'm using?
So, all right. People have voted. Thank you. We're collecting responses. I'm going to close this. And that helps us understand the audience too, guys, and what you're using. It looks like a lot of people are using Sugar, Salesforce, and other. We have some others. Oh, I'm super interested to see what those are. So
interesting.
So Kevin, you can see my screen, correct?
I can, yeah. PandaDocs, TenFold, and ClicData.
All right, awesome. So all of these that I just went over, ClicData, PandaDocs, TenFold, they work with a lot of the following. So maybe if you're in the other category, you may be SAP or Oracle or Zendesk. Some of them work with the help desk software Zendesk as well.
So, you know, that slide is important. Add-ons are one of the things that make CRMs, modern CRMs, really useful. So we're talking about 3 today that are pretty common, things that we've seen and things that are really important in the industry. But it doesn't mean those are the only 3. I mean, there are thousands. I think there probably are thousands of add-ons for all these different kinds of CRMs. And some are really specific vertical add-ons. I was talking to somebody last night who had an add-on that did geologic testing. There's a CRM add-on, Salesforce, that did geologic testing.
Wow.
And it was highly specialized, and but it was an add-on that made their CRM useful.
Mineral Force or something.
Yeah, Mineral Force, right.
That's what it should be called.
Rock Force.
And just like Apple has created a whole industry or other vehicle for people to make money on their app store, this is what these companies have done for developers. They've created whole ecosystems of ways to make money by these productivity add-ons that we're looking at today. And don't get scared by the word add-on. It adds on fun, it adds on productivity, and there are people like companies like BrainSell that will help also integrate some of these solutions. With these come already integrated packages. So when we look at Panda, it already has an integration out of the box for Salesforce, Dynamics, Sugar, and more. But we'd be able to help you kind of come up with a plan and the deployment and the onboarding for it. So great points, Kevin. PandaDoc, what is it? Sometimes it does so much that sometimes I have a hard time explaining it all, but it does quoting contracting proposals at the core, e-signatures as well. So if you are already subscribing to DocuSign, for example, this would replace DocuSign. It would replace Proposify or something like that. And onboarding, it does a ton of other things through this really cool HTML proposal building. So again, because it is such a awesome, beefy product, I'm just going to show you some of the things that it does. So really quick here. I have Sugar open. This is our CRM, also works in many other CRMs. You'll see that it has a little dashlet on the side here. And in Salesforce, it's just an area down below, right? Same kind of thing. And what it can do is it can start a proposal building, basically a mail merge, but way more than that, right from the CRM screen. So I get a call from my client and they want a proposal or 15 more hours of service or something. Instead of opening up Word and doing a search and replace, which a lot of service companies do, and it's very painful, I can go right here and create something new. And by the way, this can also be for someone who sells widgets. This can be for a manufacturing company as well. So I've got templates set up here. And there are lots of templates that are also just out of the box. So there's some public ones too that are really beautiful. So look at this, like WordPress design proposal, photography proposal. So we have here some, TenFold, it's really jumping ahead here. But
yeah, that was convenient, wasn't it?
We've got a really good, let's see, Sugar work order only. So what it's done is I've created a template before. It has all the merge tags already built in, and you'll see what we do here. I've got a client here, Scott, and I am also going to CC our accounting department on it. I could add anyone else, and this could be picked up from fields in Sugar, by the way. I'm going to press Start Editing, and all of the tokens come from Sugar or come from your CRM. I used us as a test account to make this document. So you'll see here, right, I can X this out and I'd get back to Sugar. I'm still technically logged into just Sugar, and it's an overlay of PandaDocs that's popping up. So this is a separate system. It's popping up. It's merging information from my CRM and plopping it into this templated proposal document, which is HTML style and very attractive, if I will say myself. I can see the parties, and all of these things come in. Scott's name comes in, my information. These are a couple fields in Sugar that I could have filled out, an executive summary and an objective, for example. Custom fields can be merged in. And as I go down here, I'll see more things in yellow. These are all tokens. And here are my tags. What does this do? It makes it really, really easy for a new rep to come on board. And we can say, okay, this is the template that you use to have this services agreement, or this is how you propose this product. And everything's templated and beautiful. We can have images in here, really, really easy to handle. And then we've got things.
Well, it also makes it easy for us to spit these things out quickly. Sorry for interrupting, but
is that the best thing that you've seen, right, about using this? So working remotely, sometimes we're out of the office and we need to brush up a proposal. There's no Word document that's on your local drive anymore. So that's just, dumb and easy. This makes it so easy too, like Kevin said, because it's just so quick. So quick to do this. And it looks
You can trigger this remotely. So like from an iPad, from your iPhone in the field. I have been out of the office and somebody says, hey, I need a quick work order. Here are the details. I already filled them out in Sugar. I can press a few buttons on my mobile device and get that taken to work out in minutes.
Right. Yeah, this is absolutely huge for accelerating the sales process. Absolutely. And someone did just ask a question if, Greg, if you could kind of define it a little bit better. I don't really understand. Can you import a fillable PDF for PandaDocs to fill in with CRM data? So it would need to be, when you make your templates, guys, you need to, first of all, we help with that, but you also need to take that PDF, you need to take it and put it in as a HTML style document. So you'd need to do a copy and paste basically right here. And then this would be dynamic. So you'd copy and paste from that PDF into the template. Greg, if that wasn't clear, you can do a follow-up question. That would be great. So I've got my template. Everything's good. It's filled in with Sugar data. I can choose extra content from a library, which is really awesome. I can mess with my recipients. I can do signing orders. So this is huge. If you have a new salesperson, right, you can have it first go to their manager internally, and then it goes to the client once the manager's approved it and looked it over and signed it. Signing order, forwarding order, so you can say, yes, someone's manager can do this. So there's lots of kind of workflow that goes all around that. And then analytics, once I send this, and I'll show you guys one that is actually in process, you'll be able to see when someone opened it, clicked it, viewed it, how long they viewed each section of the proposal, when they scrolled. It's crazy. And
I really like that. That's a very cool feature, because if you've ever, you want to see, has my customer looked at this? The person I've sent it to, have they actually looked at it or opened it? This is going to give you that intelligence, which is pretty important if you're a salesperson.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so much more. So also downloading this, very simple. So if I want to download it, if someone's not down with this type of web proposal, then I can download it and send it to them. That's fine. So when I send this, and I won't, but I'll show you a test Gmail account here. When I send this, this is what the client gets. They get an email that's very nice looking with a picture and your logo that says, hello, here's a work order, please open the document. You go to the document, and I believe this one is executed, but it shows the document. So this is the interface in which the client will view the proposal. It's a really nice web page. Maybe I have a question on this. I can go right in here and type a question, and the person who sent it will get a notification via email that there was a question on it. Really neat. And as I go down here, I can see that it's been signed and executed, and you can also download the version of it. So kind of like DocuSign there, where you can actually execute it. So just a fantastic tool. And by the way, you also get a notification when everyone has completed it, and then you open the document. Once you've completed it, and I'll just cancel out of this one, you would be able to see, in going to the account, you can also send it from an account, that something has been sent and signed. And oops, I think I attached it to the contact instead. But you'd see here that the document was sent, completed, still in limbo as if it hasn't actually been executed yet, it will show it right here. So once you complete the document, it gets sucked back into Sugar and it files it as something that's been completed.
And that is my absolute favorite feature of these sorts of add-ons, that you can see it all back in the CRM system. So you've heard me use this phrase. It's a hackneyed phrase, the 360-degree view. So we're looking at an account record, the BrainSell account record. But on this one page, I can see everything that pertains to that account, including documents that they've signed, documents that have been associated with them, and what's the status of those documents. That's my favorite part of this whole thing.
Awesome. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that, because it just saves so much time in having to scan it and whatever. I've wasted weeks closing deals because someone just doesn't scan it back, right?
Yeah.
Or just doesn't do this or that. So really, really neat tool. We love it, and it makes proposal building fun. So that's one awesome thing. Moving on to TenFold, because we are going to make this. We're doing Power Webinar today. We're making this quick for you. TenFold. We've done webinars on TenFold, and we keep loving it because it keeps improving, and they keep getting pretty darn advanced, and we love it still. So TenFold is, think of it as the integration piece between your phone system and your CRM. It works with hundreds of phone systems, hundreds. So if you have a phone system that you think is very difficult, let us know. We have a very difficult phone system, and it works with ours.
Yeah.
So that's really great.
It
doesn't have to be purely VoIP based, which ours is both, and it's very cool. So again, works with all the CRMs that we talked about today and more. So let's talk about how much easier taking calls and putting things into your CRM can be with an integration to your phone system. So you'll see here that, well, I've got a little floating, they call it the floating UI. This is a pop-out that is a Chrome extension. So all I have to do to set this up is just link in this Chrome extension, and I don't even need to be logged into Sugar. I can just be opening up on a Google page here, and you'd still have your floating UI when someone called in. So what happens? Let's just go back to this one. What happens when someone calls in? This fun little box pops out, as you saw a few minutes ago when someone called into the main line. I'm looking at my recent calls. Let's look at Brandon Contreras, our friend at Act On Software. I talked to Brandon this morning for 9 minutes and 13 seconds. So when someone calls in, this box pops out and it queries the number that is calling with the CRM database, be it Sugar, Salesforce, Microsoft, you name it, NetSuite. And it matches it up with that person, Brandon Contreras. If the person calling in does not exist in your CRM, it will do this. No match found. Let's search, or let's create a new record, a contact or a lead, and you can do that on the fly. Or maybe someone's calling from a hunt line and you're not quite sure who is calling in, then it would pop up and show you several different options, which is neat. We're wanting to, it's doing a refresh, of course, because we're doing a demo.
Of course, of course. You know what's really great, I think you alluded to this earlier, Sonia, is that this will work at home. So if I'm at home and I've got my browser at home connected to TenFold, then this dialog box will pop up at home when my desk phone here at the office rings.
Yeah. That happened to me yesterday, and really cool stuff. Why is Brandon's face in there, his handsome face? Well, because it's scraping it from his social profile, his LinkedIn. So this is a cool thing too. Also really easy to get to someone's social profile, and it actually aggregates from many different things, not just LinkedIn, from Facebook and all sorts of stuff. I think that might be a Facebook profile pic. Records the time, and then the best part is right here, creating notes. So the old school way, right, is that when a call comes in, first of all, you're scrambling to figure out who it is. You're searching for that person. And then anyone, I'll just take anyone, Brandon, sure, Stover. You're searching for that person. You're going down to the calls module. You're creating a call record. You're titling it. you're marking it as held. And this is the same in Salesforce too, by the way, and in Microsoft. It's all the same. And here are my call notes. So that's how we do that. And you just hope that you have the right timing in here. So you don't actually know how long someone's on the phone unless your VoIP system does that. Now let's look at the world with TenFold. Here are my notes. I don't even have to be logged into the CRM. I can say that this is the status of the contact has changed, maybe, where he's dead and he can drop off my list, or maybe even just the call results. That was a good combo. These are custom drop-down fields in our call status. So pretty amazing stuff. So we had a good convo. I can report on this now. Here are my notes. And maybe I even want to create an opportunity. And if there's an existing opportunity or case in here, I can associate that call with that existing item. Huge. I can even start a Zoom meeting if I wanted to help them out.
Oh.
So what does this look like when I put it into the system? Well, I press save. It saves my call. Let's go to Brandon's actual contact record, and it will save the call instantly. I can go back at any time too and update my notes just by going back to my recent and updating and pressing save. Where did Brandon's info go? It went right here. OBC means outbound call. And if I go to the eyeball here, it will show approximate timetable. Here are my notes and the people on the call. And that is a whole lot faster than having to go through that manual process in which I just did, which is super painful. And guess what? I just didn't really used to log a whole lot of calls unless they were super important. And that's really bad. That makes salespeople not want to use the CRM. So now you see where we're going with this, right?
Yeah, this is another perfect example of the salesperson doesn't have to do an onerous task. So the data's in there and you can still use the data. It's helpful. And man, I go back and I look at previous calls. Now I can see, I want to see when did I last call. And I don't have to rely on hoping I or you or Devin or somebody actually logged the last call because it was a pain in the butt to do so and we didn't. But now it gets done for us and it's valuable data.
Right. Totally. And this is the best part for managers. We'll be drooling for this. So this is probably something that some VoIP systems will give you, like an 8x8 or whatever, 5.9. But this is incredible stuff. This is a mashup report coming from TenFold of data that is taken from the phone calls and even data that's corresponding with the CRM, which I'll show you. So Devin is our head BDR and awesome. He made 2,000 calls last month, which is great. Almost
wow.
2,100 calls last month. So I can just go here and change it. Let's just, to be really torturous, he's made 25,000 calls this year. That's really crazy. And Garrett is one of our awesome salespeople, and he's on the calls a lot. And Kelly gets the most inbound calls, which doesn't surprise me. She takes a ton of support calls, and she was on calls for 2,000 hours so far this year, which is pretty scary. And then everyone else, this is just incredible stuff. And then the mashup with the CRM, this is what I wanted to show people. We can see here that for marketing data that comes in, we have lead sources that are pulled out. So I can see lead sources, website leads call in a lot, and vendor leads call in a lot, webinar leads call in a lot. So this is mashup reporting between CRM. And mashup reporting is a perfect segue, if I do say so myself, into what Kevin's going to show us, which is ClicData. So Kevin, before I go over to that, sorry for my messy screens, guys, I just wanted to go over to our last app that we love, which is ClicData. And Kevin, I'm going to switch screens to you. Before we do that, I just want to show our next webinars, which are all in a row here. And we're going to send you follow-up on this. So you guys, please join us if you want deep dives into each of these tools. We're going to have the actual vendors on this so they can give a much more thorough presentation and pricing and all that stuff. So Kevin, I will hand over the presentership to you, but tell us a little bit about ClicData.
Yeah, let me do so. Let me take control. You got to give it to me, and I'll share. ClicData is a standalone tool. This is one of the things that Sonia mentioned earlier that is standalone. You don't have to use it in conjunction with a CRM. Now, that doesn't mean you shouldn't use it. You should use it with a CRM. You should use ClicData to give you better information about what's in your CRM and about your CRM connected to other stuff. So a really almost trivial example is connecting your CRM to your accounting system. So you're getting accounting information. Now you probably do want to get some information into your CRM directly from your accounting system, but you don't want to get it all. Again, I've been discussing that CRM forum that I was a panelist for last night, and people are asking, well, what data goes into your CRM? Well, not all of it. Not all data should be on your CRM. It's not appropriate to keep sales transactions in your CRM. You keep sales transaction in your point of sale system or in your ERP system. But there are times when you want to see CRM data and sales transaction data pushed together. And ClicData is a good example of a tool that will let you do that. Here's some of my favorite dashboards that I've created. Here's a list of upcoming webinars. This just pulls from a spreadsheet. We've got a Google spreadsheet that one of the folks here in the office fills out with upcoming webinars. And the Google spreadsheet includes a lot more than this, but I've got some filters on it that say only show me webinars that are no more than a day old. So the future or today or yesterday. And so there's just an example of a dashboard that shows upcoming webinars. Now, why does this matter? Well, why would you need a dashboard like this? Why not just look at the Google Sheet? Well, this dashboard can be used as a mashup. You can push this back into other tools. You can push this back into Sugar as a dashboard in Sugar, or into Salesforce as a dashlet in Salesforce, or as we've got it up on a gigantic monitor here in the office. This is an example of one. I've got some others here. Call duration. Here's a fun one. Devin here in the office said, I really would like to see a map of time zones so I can see what cities and say blah, blah, blah. I got to look at stuff real quick. So I threw this up on a monitor. And this is a mashup of the universal time coordinate from the U.S. government plus a map. So I just mapped in some really unique data. Look, it's live. It's really 2:33 p.m. on the East Coast here. So it's just some interesting stuff. I just took an image and mashed up that image with government time data. To do this kind of stuff, you've got your remote data sources and the dashboards that you create out of it. So I've got a bunch of remote data sources. I've got all our accounts from our Sugar instance. I've got our webinars from that spreadsheet I mentioned. I've got calls and views of calls. I've got our year-to-date growth and things like that. I've got a lot of interesting information. By the way, the year-to-date growth, this gets pulled from Salesforce or from QuickBooks.
So Kevin, can I state the obvious here?
State the obvious.
Is that there are connectors, guys, out of the box with, let's say, Salesforce, Sugar, Microsoft, connections. So ClicData acts as a data warehouse. So it's a data warehouse that stores this data and it refreshes it on an automated process. In NetSuite, Xero, all this stuff. Awesome.
Yeah, these are some of the out-of-the-box connectors.
Out of the box, and it's easy for them to create new ones too. So maybe you want to pull twice a day. You 5 times a day you want to refresh your call module data from Sugar or from Salesforce, and you want that to populate a dashboard with 4 other little metrics on it. That will happen. So it'll store the data and it will update it and mash it up with other data sets, which is just huge stuff.
There are obviously connectors for certain apps like Facebook. Pull data from Facebook. A customer today literally said, can you get data from Facebook into my CRM system? I said, no, your CRM doesn't connect. Ooh, but ClicData does. So you can connect to applications like Facebook, but also to technologies like ODBC connection to an arbitrary database, or likewise to an Oracle database. And then if that weren't enough, those box connections, I can also have what's called a data loader. A data loader puts a little thing on my desktop, and it will automatically connect to things that my desktop can see, my computer desktop can see. So I can build a data loader that's going to go into things on my desktop and refresh that. So there's different ways to get data in here. You can also get data in by like this, well, actually not that one, that's automatic, an automatic pull, but I've got some spreadsheets in here that I just drag and drop. There are places where you can just drag and drop a spreadsheet right in here and it'll read it out. And like Sonia said, I can automate the pulls. So I can say, let's pull this information over every day, every hour, every minute, and I can do things with it. Now, so I've got a lot of data sources. These data sources can be your CRM. Our CRM is Sugar. It could be Salesforce. It could be Microsoft. It can be an ODBC connection. Lots of data sources. But then what do you do with the data sources? You can create views. I've got a really super simple view here. So what I did is I imported the calls from from TenFold through Sugar. It's really interesting. I imported all our calls from TenFold through Sugar because Sugar and TenFold are connected. And I performed a data transform here. This is the result of the transform. But I'll show you this transform. This is kind of cool. It's all drag and drop. You don't have to know fancy stuff. Here's the raw data at the top. This is what comes right out of Sugar, the sample set. And then I did a drag and drop, just like that, of a transform, of a grouping transform. And this is kind of like a cooking show where you put the unbaked cake in one side and you pull the baked cake in the outer side. And here's my baked cake. This is a preview of the transformation. I said, take all the assigned users, look at the durations column and give me an average. So I can see the average duration here. And then, well, what do you do with that? Well, it'd be really simple. Then I want to put that on a dashboard. So here are my dashboards. Okay, here's my average call duration dashboard. I'm just going to edit this bad boy. Now, originally I said, yeah, that's cool. There's my average call duration, but I can do a lot more with this. I can change the properties of the dashboard. I can add other fields that pull from other data sources that give me information about other pieces of data and control the original source of data. So I can mash up data and have one chunk of data on the dashboard affected by another chunk of data on the dashboard.
Crazy.
One thing that's really common to do is to say, okay, what I really want is I want a calendar widget, okay? And I want this calendar widget to affect when the date changes, you know, what date range I'm getting for my call activity.
Wow.
And if that weren't enough, I can say, well, you know what? I really don't want a bar chart. I want a bubble chart. I can say I'm going to pull this bubble chart from my call counts. I'm going to select it. I'm going to make this the count, and that's the series.
Wow.
And save it. And I just created a call count chart.
So, Kevin, why would this be a good add-on for salespeople? Let's talk about this giant screen behind my face.
Yeah.
In the office. So
you get heat. You don't have to have a heater under your desk because you've got a big screen over your head.
So we've got a bullpen. We got a bit of a bullpen, sales bullpen in our office here in the Boston area, and I don't think we have a picture of it, but we should blog about it at least. We've got an 80-inch right behind my head.
Yep.
70-inch something, and we've got all those dashboards just cycling through behind me. So talk about KPIs. Have you ever gone into really high-tech companies that show like the call volume and stuff? Well, we do even better than that, and it was my anniversary the other month, and Kevin put a picture up of my husband. It was so nice. So that cycled through too, and then the call volume. So it gives a bit of like gamification, right? People get excited to see their name on the leaderboard, and it's really easy to cycle these dashboards through. And so again, you pull from how many Facebook followers you have, what your sales year to date is, how many phone calls people are making from Salesforce, how many open cases there are in Zendesk. You can show every single metric from every platform on one screen. And I think it's just 2017 that it's become that easy. Like I think we tried to do this 3 or 4 years ago, and it was just impossible. It was so
a great example is that we've wanted to have these metrics displayed. So one weekend or an evening, I can't remember what it was, I went out and I bought this big screen for the office, put it up on the office. And that was the easy part. The hard part. The hard part was the hardware. The easy part was getting the content on the screen.
Right.
And what you're looking at here is one of those metrics. This is the bubble chart we just built, or it's not the bubble chart. This is the bar chart using the data. So I can see, okay, here's Jim is doing okay. Oh, there's Devin and his 20 some odd calls just in the last 7 days.
Right.
That's, yeah. So this is that's probably by power of 10. It's probably more like 2,000 or probably over 100. So I can see the gamification. This is one of the things that's actually up on the monitor behind us. When it was your anniversary, yeah, to the people who didn't get the reference, just within a matter of minutes, I threw up a bunch of wedding pictures into ClicData.
Yep, and it cycled it through.
And it cycled right into the monitor. So this gives people a really, really easy way to push important data like KPIs or anniversary pictures up on some display or on a computer monitor. Or let me show you this. I'm going to log into my real live Sugar instance, and I'm going to my home page. I should have had this done ahead of time, but instead I'm clicking. And I've got a ClicData dashboard. I'm going to show you the dashboard on the Sugar homepage.
Yes. I had this going. Very cool.
So here's our year-to-date growth. And it tells me when it was last updated. Yep, 10 minutes ago. It pulled from QuickBooks and did that update 10 minutes ago.
Very neat. And having the ability to show 7 or 8 metrics on one dashboard is huge. So when Kevin put in the bubble chart and the scatter chart, that's all on one viewable page. And it can take time elapsed, which Salesforce and Sugar are not good at. It can do time elapsed comparisons and all sorts of stuff. So, and just so incredibly affordable. I mean, we're talking just, you know, a couple $100 a month for this add-in that everyone can use. So, so yeah, Kevin,
you said that so fast. Let's stress something. Sugar is not good at taking, and most CRMs are not good at taking snapshots of data and comparing snapshots of data.
Correct.
You need a BI tool like this because data warehousing, because this tool will warehouse your data. You can create snapshots very easily. And that's something that, you know, it's not immediately apparent, but that's a huge, huge thing. A data warehouse allows you to take snapshots of your data and then compare it in a chart. It's a big deal.
Right. Right. You're right. That's huge. And for just a couple $100 a month, it's crazy incredible. Also, if so, salespeople might not like CRM, but executives usually really don't like CRM. Mm-hmm. And it's so super ironic. It's both ends of the scale. So what we're having real success with ClicData is saying, okay, your managers want to see these 5 key metrics. Instead of having to log into Sugar, or they're not going to log into Sugar to see it, let's give them a ClicData dashboard that has all 5 reports on it that pulls from Sugar or Salesforce, and they can see all their key metrics right on one page. And you can give them a URL. So these ClicData dashboards can render to a URL that then you can just put that as a favorite on their iPad or whatever, and they can hit it and they can see live data. So there's just so many good benefits to a tool like this that's so affordable that makes CRM really easy for people to understand and to adopt. So
right, yeah, ClicData is an app on my cell phone. So I just tap it and I can see the latest year-to-date growth just by tapping a button on my cell phone.
Yep, incredible. So guys, we'll hang around for a few minutes. You've got the webinars up here, but that pretty much concludes our dive into our 3 favorite add-ins of the year. So please feel free to sign up for the upcoming webinars. Again, we'll send you a follow-up email with this recording and links to sign up for these. And if you have questions, Devin, our lead BDR, can take those. And you'll also be getting a follow-up with the email and the recording. So Kevin, thank you so much for your time today. And everyone, thank you for joining.
Always fun.